Yes, but here it's a lot different. And if you don't know what to ask for if you've never had that experience before. You know, we know in North America, you know, you lose your leg, you get a leg. You go get an appointment at the prosthetist and you get fitted and you get your insurance card out and you get a new leg. And, I mean, this is something entirely new. And also, you know, it's for patients who've never had this experience before. We need to be proactive and help them navigate through the system because otherwise they're going to get lost. They're going to fall through cracks.
She has 3 toes that were crushed. She can put weight on the left foot. We're going to give her some love strength crutches, so this way she'll be able to go about her daily life.
Because Jobert's finding all the patients, and Dana right here, she's getting the information on each patient and how to contact them and what injuries they've had. So now when the rehabilitation services are more established and they're able to start giving the prosthetics, the artificial limbs, we'll be able to find these patients and then get them back to where they need to be for treatment.
For him to come out of 13 people, for him to be the only survivor, I'm very, very grateful of that.
He's going to need pelvis pinning, but also because of the spinal cord, I guess he was incontinent this morning, so there would have been some neuro damage. But I think he could definitely make full recovery.
Sure.
So it needs to be intervened. I'm going to give you the numbers for the it's the landline numbers for the Miami tent. Okay.
So that's just a snapshot, Anna Marie, of the sort of medicine being afforded in Haiti these days. It's tirage. The entire healthcare system remains buried in rubble.
But Dr. O'Connell sounds like she knows exactly what she needs to do.
Well, her poise is pretty striking. She was completely comfortable surrounded by that chaos. She never lost her calm or her sense of humor or her smile. So the next place we visited is Bernard Meux's Hospital down the road. Canadian physiotherapists with healing hands were already there seeing amputees, and Dr. O'Connell went from tent to tent. I followed her around. There she was, sitting with a grandmother whose right leg was amputated at the thigh, talking to her. Like she had all the time in the world. She helps a woman get measured for aluminum crutches, and then she walks along as the woman took her very first steps on her remaining leg. Dr. O'Connell made sure that she got the phone numbers from everybody and that there's some way for Healing Hands to keep in touch.
People in this country, the majority of people rely on what they can push, pull, lift, carry. They rely on their hands. They rely on their feet. And unless we get them back up on their feet and keep them on their feet, they're going to be at a much disadvantage for survival, and there'll be a burden often to their families, and we need to be able to prevent that from happening.
She's got a fracture in her left tibia and above knee amputation on her right side.
So you're working on strengthening that?
We're maintaining the strength and the flexibility on both legs so that when she is fit with the prosthetic limb, she's able to walk.
It's not going to be just us from the expatriate community. It's going to be Haitians themselves developing their resources, their expertise, and their skills, because they can be the ones helping to teach and train and accept these people in society.
Okay? You're saying one day they may not need you anymore.
I fully intend to come back to Haiti as a tourist one of these days. Benji, Jackson, bonne chance.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Hopefully we'll see you somewhere
else, right?
somewhere north of the border, right? Okay, thanks, Jackson.
Safe trip.
Thanks. Okay, thanks, Benji.
All righty. Bye.
It's such an enormous task they're taking on. David, I want to bring someone else into this conversation who's also involved in helping Haitians with disabilities. Marika McCrae was born in Canada. She spent most of her life in Haiti, though. She's the executive director of Pas à Pas, which means step by step in Haitian Creole. Now, Pas à Pas is a charity that runs programs for disabled children in Haiti. Marika McCrae was in Jacmel when the earthquake hit. She and her 2 young children have come back to Canada. She's in St. Catharines, Ontario. Good morning.
Good morning.
What did the earthquake do to Pas à Pas?
The earthquake itself affected, luckily, just the building of Pas à Pas, meaning that the back wall of the center collapsed into the backyard, and there are classrooms down there as well. So there are a couple of classrooms that have been affected.
Was anyone hurt?
No. That's why I said luckily it's just the building, so all our children are safe. We did do a rough survey. We sent all our staff out to see the children in their homes and where they are staying right now, and they are all fine.
So did the children, they didn't actually live there, they would come in for the day,
yes,
right?
It's a day school.
Okay. And what did it offer the children who were coming there?
We have a nutrition program, so the first thing that they get when they come in is a meal in the morning, and then they get school. They attend school 3 days a week. So that is the day program. We also have an afternoon school that runs 5 days a week for the hearing impaired, and it's the same thing. We feed them first because, of course, if you're hungry, the last thing you want to do is work and learn. So we make sure that they are well fed, and then we teach them what we can.
You know, they can come to your organization and they can get the help they need. But what is life like, or what has life been like for disabled children in Haiti before the quake?
Before the quake, I would say it was very promising because we did a lot of, I would say, public relation work in terms of changing the minds of the parents. The first thing, unfortunately, in Haiti when a parent has a disabled child is like, man, what did I do? Why is this happening to me? And a lot of them hide their children. A lot of them abandon that child. It's a matter of trying to catch them, you know, and trying to teach them to think differently, you know, that it's not that somebody hated you and made this happen to your child, or it's not a punishment from anybody or anything. So there has been quite a bit of change in terms of the children who come to our center because we have a lot of meetings with the parents. So it was promising. A lot of parents, I would say all the parents that send the children to Pazapa are very, very much positive in terms of supporting their child and feeling that, yes, there is a hope for them, and yes, they can read, or yes, they will walk, or yes, they'll be able to work in their lifetime. So it's been positive. It's been a very long road to get to that point, but
I'm wondering how much harder things will be after this quake, because so many problems with amputations, so many problems with children. Yeah. Because of injuries. What do you anticipate? We are in our second phase of I guess the cleanup stage, which means that we need to find a new place to open. So once we open in a new location, we will be able to see our kids again, and also now we can start opening our arms to all those who have been affected by the earthquake. We have a lot of doctors who are interested, who have been experiencing this, and who have expressed wishes to come and help us deal with this. So you're back in Canada now. Why did you come back? I came back personally because I couldn't handle the stress as well as my children. Listening to your house rattle on a daily basis from aftershocks is not something that I can explain. It's horror. It's a nightmare that you just can't wake out of, and it's hard. And there was nothing happening. I was sitting there every day with nothing to do. You're completely disoriented. You don't know what to do because nothing is working. And also the reason why I left is because to this day there's still no banks that are open in Jacmel. So my money was getting low. How do I buy food? How do I feed my family? So I made the decision to leave. How old are your kids? One is 8 and one is 5. How are they doing? Better. It's touch and go depending on the day. My daughter did lose a good friend of hers who was a little tennis buddy and a classmate of hers, so she's been asking a lot of questions. And even last night she was thinking back about the earthquake and how things happened. My son is doing better. He was more physically ill due to it, so I think he took it on physically, the stress itself, but he's feeling much better now. And when you go back, will you bring them back? Yes, it depends, because school right now hasn't been discussed in terms of when school will open. So I am in Canada. I'm registering them into school today, actually, just to give them something to do and something else to think about. That's where we're at for now. Well, thank you for talking to me. Oh, thank you. That is Marika McCrae, the Executive Director of Pazapa, a charity that runs programs for disabled children in Haiti.
So, Anna Maria, that's a voodoo priestess, a mambo, performing a traditional healing song in Port-au-Prince.
You know, for decades, voodoo has been portrayed as a kind of all-purpose black magic in Hollywood movies and North American